Welcome to another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast, where we run down all the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days. And we're going to kick things off with news from Clash of the Cans, our annual energy drink showdown, proudly and powerfully supported by the caffeine-free stimulant Dynamine here in 2024. And it has been one hell of a show in the first 2 weeks. It almost always is. We run Clash of the Cans purely because it's very much like protein powder. We made Protein Wars because we understand that every person out there ends up on their favorite protein powder, and it's in one way or another. Whether it was their friend that introduced them to them, whether it's the first one they ever came across and they just cannot get enough of that taste, whether it was the one that gave them the newbie gains in the essence of protein powder. Or if it's one that's famous in their home country, in every part of the world tends to have its favorites. You've got Olymp in Poland, you've got ESN in Germany. Optimum has a absolutely massive presence, but then you're going down to Australia, you've got Muscle Nation, Musashi, BSC. You've got a mountain of different companies everywhere in the world. And energy drinks are the same. Hal Energy in Europe. You've got Red Bull pretty much also dominant in Europe. We've got a few brands that we highlight across Asia and the Middle East, but you just won't find anywhere else. There's a massive amount, no matter where you go. And that was why we created Clash of the Cans, because it's such a similar category as well. You grab a can of an energy drink for 160 milligrams of caffeine. That might be the core ingredient. And then you've got, I guess, another one that has 160, maybe 150, maybe 100, maybe 200. And then the taste comes into play. And so there's a lot of different things, and that's why we run it. It's just a category that's like protein powder that people are so passionate about their individual choices. And we just want you to share that, let the world know, and see who comes out on top. And it's been a fun competition throughout the years. We've done it for 5 years. It's the 6th time we've run it. First winner was C4, then we got Rain, then it was the back-to-back title holding of Raise, and then it was Rise Fuel last year. And this year it has come down to 4, and it is a beautiful 4. I will admit, every year sometimes we have some surprises or someone sneaks in or whatnot. Like maybe they aren't able to get above it. I will give you this. This year, we didn't get too many underdogs making it through. We didn't get too many surprise newcomers. It was just a stacked quarterfinals, and the groups were incredibly tight. I went through this on the last podcast, and so the semifinals are no different. It's no surprise. You got intense quarterfinals. You're going to get some ridiculously fun semifinals, and the two groups of 2. So the first one is Rain, Total Body Fuel. So the winner of the second ever Clash of the Cans is taking on the Ghost energy drink. Now, those are 2 titans, and Rain, I can tell you right now, we don't put the numbers out there in terms of votes. We obviously give you percentages and let you know who wins and who loses. But when we give out numbers, we find it almost encourages people like, wow, we lost by 100. Maybe we do some, it just encourages suspicious activity. So we've never done that for the Clash of the Cans, nor have we done it for Protein Wars for at least the last 8 years. But so yeah, you've got Rain, who is a sleeping giant. Those guys know how to bring it. And then you've got Ghost Energy, a hugely popular energy drink with fans of Stacked. And it's not surprising considering it has a long-standing reputation for its supplements that bleed into the energy drinks. And then in the other group, you have Rise Fuel going up against Chris Bumstead's Bum Energy. Now, in terms of just powerhouse numbers, those 2 can bring it like Ghost. Like I said, any of these guys is going to bring the house, and it is going to be one of the busiest quarterfinals, semifinals, and grand final we've probably seen in history. That tends to be the case every year. So I'm excited to see whichever of these 2 make it through. Ghost going up against Rise Fuel or Bum Energy, or vice versa, Bum going up against Ghost or Rain, or Rise or Rain going up, whatever it may be. 2 of these people have the opportunity to become their first ever title holders of the energy drink. Ghost hasn't won before, neither has Bum Energy, although it hasn't been around that long. And then Rise and Reign are up with the opportunity to become our second ever 2-time champion. Rise is the only one that could be doing it back-to-back, but Reign could be the first non-back-to-back 2-time. Either way, a lot of big names, a lot of big stories, a lot of fun. And so if you have time, head to clashofthecans.com, throw in your vote. We've got enough little security checks and everything to make sure, both on the front end and the back end, to make sure that there aren't any sneaky votes. But yeah, you get to vote once per group per week. So obviously once per group, basically, because they're not run twice. And yeah, head to clashofthecans.com, enter in your favorites. You can vote for just one group. Doesn't need to be the both. You can just do maybe Bumstead versus Rise, or you could vote in the Ghosted Reign and just leave it at that. All I ask is just, take some time, have a vote in, see who comes out on top, and next week we will have the grand finalists to share, and it'll be one hell of a competition. Now, we're going to jump straight into the news of the week, and it was a busy one. Like I said, it was in amongst all the excitement of Clash of the Cans. There was quite a bit of juice coming out of Prime still, who announced, I believe they launched the Prime X about a week ago, and Prime X is their special edition strawberry lemonade flavor. Comes in 4 variants in terms of on the outside. On the inside, it's exactly the same ingredients, same taste. But on the outside is a wrapper. And if you take off that wrapper, there's a map piece underneath. Now, if you collect all 12 of those map pieces, you will indeed win $1 million. Now, if there are multiple people who collect it, you divide that up. This is spread across Australia, Canada, UK, and the US. Now, there's a lot of interesting details that surfaced when this competition launched. Firstly, you need to go to primex.drinkprime.com to register. That gets you an account where you can then register your pieces and your map pieces, keep up to date with everything. Then there is also a redemption system through there. Now, this was something we didn't really know about. So basically what that is, so every cap you collect, so when you get a map piece on your wrapper, you need to enter the code from the cap in order to, register it to your account. And you need to keep that cap, because if you win, you need to send it in. Now, and the interesting part here is that those caps also give you points. Now, this is separate from the $1 million and the map price. And so those points can then be used to redeem prizes, t-shirts, hats, and 2 very special edition energy drinks. One is called Signature Serum, and the other one is called Glitch Elixir, sorry about that. I don't know what either of them taste like. They haven't got descriptions, but you can build up points from the caps of Prime X and redeem points for either of them or both. The former of the two, the Signature Serum, is the more, rare version. Mostly because it takes 2.5 times the points to get, and the bottle is signed. Now, another interesting fact that surfaced over the past week, and this is an extremely interesting one if you are a Prime fan and you're hunting for these map pieces. This is going to take a little bit of explanation. So, there are 12 different map pieces, 1 to 12. 11 of them are considered common, and 11 of them have an equal chance of being found in the marketplace. So if you grab a bottle of Prime X, regardless if it's the holographic, pink, blue, whatever the label, you have a 1 in 11 chance of getting a number from 1 to 11. I don't know if it's exactly 1 to 11, but 11 of the numbers are incredibly common, equally common, as a matter of fact. And they've gone even further into detail and told you exactly how common they are. So in the US, there is 1.909101 million bottles of each of the 11 common numbers. In the UK, it is 545,460 of each number. Canada is 190,915, and then Australia has 90,912. So each of those bottles, the common numbers, again, I don't know if it's 12 is the magic number, if it's 5, whatever it is, one of them's a rare one. Those numbers are how many of each number, the common numbers, there are on the market. Now, the rare one has a 1 in 3,762,535 chance of being found. So you are very much likely to find all 11, but not the last one. Now, I actually calculated it up because this seemed far too coincidental. They gave you exact numbers. If you timed each of those numbers, so that 1 in 3.7 million, whatever the chance is, that is based worldwide. So you have 1 in 3.7 million chance of finding that rare number, or a rare number. If you total up all of those numbers of per 11 per country, you get a figure that's just over 30 million. I think it's like 30.1 or something like that. You divide that by the 37, whatever it is, of the rare number, it comes out to 8. Now what that means is that it seems that, if my calculation is roughly correct, and it looked like it worked out too damn good for it not to be, there are 8 rare pieces out there. Now, if that is correct, and my suspicion seems to be pretty on point, that would mean that there are potentially 8 winners of the $1 million. So if you were wondering if there was going to be easy to get the pieces, one, it's not. And two, at best, you're going to win $125,000. Now, there is a very good chance that one of those rare pieces is just picked up by someone random that maybe sampled it at a store, maybe just grabbed it on the fly, just threw it in the bin. That is a very, very big opportunity. They haven't said how many of the 8, or if there are 8, per country. So it's a very, very interesting development. So if you are in the hunt for the 12 pieces, you are going to be looking far and wide, and will be one of the, like I said, if my math is correct, and this is correct, you are looking at 8 chances to win. And that means the other 11 seem to be very easy to collect. I had seen online that someone said number 11 was the tricky one. I'm not 100% on that, but whatever this rare piece is, like I said, it seems like there's only 8. So get out there and hunting. If you collect all 11, be on the lookout for that other one. Go hunting, even let us know, it'd be good to share. So yeah, best of luck to anyone who goes on that massive mission. Keeping within the world of functional and, I guess, convenience, last week, Mondelez announced a pretty big development, and that may not seem that important to people here at Stack with sports supplements and functional foods and whatnot. Mondelez is a food giant, owner of Oreo, Cadbury chocolate, Milka, I guess in Europe, many other food, snacks, treats, and goodies. So Mondelez also owns Grenade. Now last week, Grenade made an announcement that it was going to be partnering with Lotus, the maker of the famous Biscoff cookie, or Biscoff spread caramel biscuit, to manufacture and distribute, just help with sales of the Biscoff cookies or biscuits in India. Now, that's not that big of a deal, at least for us. On the flip side, they said that they are going to now be beginning to develop products in partnership with Biscoff. And they gave examples that this would be a combination of something like Milka or Cadbury. Those are regional, so Milka Europe, Cadbury UK. They would be working in partnership to make collab Biscoff products. And what that would mean is you might get like a Cadbury milk chocolate with Biscoff pieces. They didn't specify exactly what this would mean, but obviously Mondelez owns Oreo. Grenade partnered with Oreo. This is not too far of a stretch to think that the Grenade, good old Alan at Grenade, hasn't already made the phone call to at least get to reach out and see if something can be done. Oreo just threw Grenade through the roof. It really put it back on the map, and it's given it so much more visibility and reach that even more before when it was a dominant, before Mondelez bought them, they were already a giant. This Oreo thing's just put it on a whole nother level. So I can imagine something like a Biscoff Grenade protein bar would just do it again. And you know that they would blow it out of the water. They would nail the shit out of that thing. And Biscoff is more of a popular cookie biscuit in the UK, Europe, and other parts of the world. Not so much the US, but it would make for one damn delicious treat. And so that development was an interesting one. We made a fun little picture that wasn't real, obviously, but we look forward to that developing, because those collaborations that Cadbury, suggested with Cadbury, Biscoff, and Milka and Biscoff from Mondelez are said to be rolling out in 2025. So I wouldn't, again, keep an eye out. We'll share any information we get, but this could be a good one. Next up, we go over to PB2 Foods, who had an announcement last week and this week, the big announcement, more so on the industry side, not so much consumers. You might not care too much about this, but it is worth knowing. PB2 Foods opened a facility and is now completely vertically integrated. Now what this means is it's very similar to Nutrabio. Nutrabio manufactures its supplements, sources the ingredients, produces them on its own line, packages, sends them out, has control from end to end. That is not something many companies have. Very few companies have. PB2 Foods, obviously they do nutrition products. They are now one of those. They've completely, I think it was 110,000 square foot facility, allowing them to roast, grind, and press peanuts as well as produce peanut paste, oil, and peanut flour. Big news, definitely helps control their ability for distribution, production, and everything like that. Equally importantly, PB2 has been known for its powdered peanut butter. If you've been in the health and fitness space, you will know this. They have now done a peanut butter, like an actual peanut butter, not a powdered peanut butter, an actual peanut butter. So you can now buy PB2's creamy peanut butter, and they actually gave it a bit of a twist. And I really, really, really like this twist. Typically, it's hard to find a clean peanut butter. You go to the supermarket, they've almost always got added sugar, almost always. And sometimes it's a small amount, sometimes it's minuscule. But for me, I always just get annoyed, even in the back of my mind, because very similar to sugar-free energy drinks, you know how good they can taste without sugar, as sugar-free. Why would you go for a sugar drink? Why would you do that? So for me, it's a difficult choice, and it always pisses me off. But PB2 Foods has tackled this very differently. So clean peanut butter for me has always been, not that this is always the case, but peanuts and peanut oil, whatever it takes, clean as possible. PB2 has made its creamy peanut butter with a sweetener, and it's not sugar, it's allulose. So it's the low-calorie sweetener, which I have to imagine is going to juice up the taste on this thing tremendously. It's competing on the mainstream side by offering that extra sweet, sugary taste of peanut butter that you can get with these mainstream ones that you can taste. But it's done it via allulose to keep the calories low, sugar low. I think it's a gram of sugar per serving, per 32 gram serving, so it's practically non-existent. But then being able to keep it clean with just peanuts, which is the other big ingredient, the nutrition is unfazed. So you get the benefits of a clean, nutritious peanut butter, but then they've gone for taste by adding allulose, which I think is a really, really interesting twist. You can get it now. It's on their website it is not the price of a peanut butter, your traditional mainstream one. It's a little bit higher, but the functional benefits and the better for you side should play a part of that. It's $7.99 for a 16-ounce jar, but then if you go bulk and grab 6, it comes out at $6 a piece, which isn't too bad. From there, we're going to jump over to, while I brought up Nutrabio, we'll bring this up. So professional boxer Ryan Garcia came out and announced, I'm not sure if we mentioned this on the last episode, came out and announced that he failed a drug test. I think it was VADA, drug test, not WADA. I think it was a specific thing. I think it was a volunteer. I can't remember how it worked. Either way, he failed a drug test. Ostarine the SARM Ostarine was part of it. And he claimed that it was in a supplement, none other than SuperCarb from Nutrabio. Now, if you had, and I'm not going to be mean here, but if there are a lot of companies that you could have named and said, hey, this was the supplement, this is, we found that you might be like, ooh, that's rough. There's this realm of possibility. Nutrabio, and I think you could probably go throughout all brands, and I had this with me and the people that I talk to on a regular basis, you just picked the most unbelievable company to have done anything like this. Mark Glazier I've been to the facility, he's as meticulous as it gets. And he even said so in the statement when this came out. They have never made a supplement with Ostarine, let alone put Ostarine in a supplement, let alone had the ingredient touch the damn floor in its facility. And if Mark, he's just sitting there like, this never happened. Like, and if you're like me as well as other brands that know Nutrabio and their process, that it wasn't possible, or something seemed strange. So after that announcement came out from Ryan Garcia, Nutrabio came out and announced and said they're investigating it. And again, they said that Ostarine never touched their facility. They went and found the lot number. They went and found another unit from the same lot that Ryan Garcia's bottle was produced. Now this, basically a lot number is when they run it through the machine or the production line. Let's say they run 1,000 bottles straight. They'll all get the same lot number. If it's all from the same big vat of ingredients, they'll all have the same lot number. And then they'll test whatever, so they can basically say, hey, we tested one from the lot, it's legit, or we tested the raw ingredients, it's fine, whatever. Easy to track down for this very specific purpose. So they found the lot number, they got a unit that was sealed. So Ryan Garcia's bottle that he tested was unsealed. Important detail. Now they found a bottle from the lot, tested it, absolutely nothing. Well, not absolutely nothing, just no Ostarine. SuperCarb is a premium carbohydrate supplement, but not an Ostarine supplement. And they tested it and found not only like no Ostarine, not even a trace amount, not a tiny bit at all. So, I had a feeling that this was going to be the case. Kudos to Mark Glazer and the team for hunting it down, doing the due diligence and getting to the bottom of this, and kind of, I would like to say, clearing their name or whatever, but they never really needed to. You could have, again, if you know sports nutrition supplements and you know Mark and Nutrabio, it was a fun story to hear. But as Mark Glazer and the team proved, it wasn't legitimate after they tested a sealed bottle. Anyway. So yeah, you can check that out story on the website. We got two in a round, two stories. We've had some big ones to go through, but this one is quite comprehensive. So in the, in the world of alternative, not even alternative, just sport and events, Hyrox has come up as a very, very prominent one. I've heard people mention it was similar to CrossFit. It is similar in the circuit sense. There's the fact that you do a movement, then another one, or an exercise, then another one. But the length in which they perform and the movements and the resistance are all drastically different, completely different systems, but again, very circuit-like. Now, Hyrox has become very popular in Europe. I discovered this very easily when I went to FIBO and saw it in a lot of places. And Myprotein, being the international giant that it is, and a UK-based company with strong presence in Europe, they partner with Hyrox, the sport and brand, to do a special edition series of supplements. Now this falls under their Pro series. It's called just Hyrox on the label, so we're going to call it the Hyrox series. And they presented them, they had them available to sample and show at the Hyrox World Championships this past weekend. No, the weekend before. So yeah, 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago. And we were able to dig up details on them. And so there are 3 supplements in the series, all of them powdered, and all of them, as you could kind of guess, like I said, it's a much dragged out, much more performance endurance event. If you've seen it, just look it up on YouTube. You'll pretty much get the idea of what kind of supplementation you'll need. And that is what Myprotein has done in its Hyrox series. So there are 3 supplements. Traditionally, you'd get a series of supplements for a purpose. These can be stacked together, but there is some overlap. So the first 2, or the main 2, there's one called Electrofuel and there's one called The Recovery. Now, The Recovery is a protein supplement with carbohydrates, so classic. I think it's almost a 1-to-1. It's a little bit less carbs, but protein and quick carbohydrates for recovery. And then there's a bit of electrolytes to replenish, what you lost during the exercise. Very, not traditional. The traditional would be protein, carbs, but the electrolytes make it a little bit more so, all for the purpose of recovery, post-workout recovery. Electrofuel is carbohydrates with electrolytes. It's specifically a maltodextrin to fructose ratio 2-to-1. This is something you will have seen in quite a bit in Europe, where they very heavily highlight the balance of malto to fructose, or that kind of thing, just to there's a balance that's superior to just having fructose by itself and maltodextrin by itself. 4+ Nutrition has done it quite a bit. I think ESN did as well. But yeah, so their Electrofuel is electrolytes with carbohydrates for intra-workout. The third supplement, and this is where you get a bit of an overlap, is called the Electro, and this is just straight electrolytes. that's where the overlap obviously happens. It's a good amount of electrolytes. It's a very versatile supplement, so you could throw it in throughout the day. But if you're buying electro fuel for intra-workout and the recovery for post-workout, the electro is almost not needed unless you really wanted to hammer home just the electrolytes and throughout the day. Because intra-workout, the electro fuel already covers you for during exercise, electrolyte consumption, and then the recovery kind of replenishes you. So either way, it's an interesting series. Again, all for the purpose of Hyrox, or to help support the sport and its performers and athletes. And again, if you watch it, you get like I watched one the other day. It was running and then a bunch of sled pulls, and it was running and then a bunch of burpee jumps and then lunges, and it was just running in between non-stop. And you can imagine, and they had some CrossFit movements, the wall balls were in there as well. And so they had some movements that were just strenuous, but it was very much just a non-stop, very endurance, fatigue, performance-based sport. And these supplements kind of perfectly for what they're after. Nothing heavily stimulant-based, which makes sense based on what the activity demands. And the last three we have sends us over to GNC, of all people. The retailer, the giant sports nutrition retailer, has a massive amount of supplements under its own banner, just GNC. It does have brands that aren't GNC. You've got Beyond Raw as theirs, but it's its own brand, its own animal. They've come out with what we've seen many others, and that is what we're calling basically a value-focused or daily pre-workout. It is almost the opposite of a premium pre-workout, which caught on last couple of years and has its presence felt in many brands. And that is where you would get, if your pre-workout was, say, $40, a premium one would be $60, and it just gives you a shitload more for the price. A daily pre-workout or value pre-workout is very much what, again, first premium pre-workout we know of came from C4, Cellucor. First daily pre-workout we know of came from Cellucor C4 with C4 Sport. That is very much what we've got from GNC. It is more of a daily value-focused pre-workout where you get a simpler set of ingredients, a better price, a better overall price at least, and respectable dosages. Raw Nutrition has a great one. Apollon just did a powerhouse one, albeit $45, which is still value or cost-conscious for Apollon consumers. And GNC has done one called the GNC Pro Pre-Workout, and it is relatively straightforward. Nothing in it's too heavily dosed, kind of what you'd expect from the daily style pre-workout. You've got some electrolytes, 3 grams of citrulline, straight citrulline, 2.5 betaine, 1.6 beta-alanine. That is carnosine beta-alanine and beta-power betaine. And then you've got 200 milligrams of theanine and 160 natural caffeine. And those amounts are what you get per 30 servings. Or every 30 servings, you could double that. Those amounts I have seen it twice. Some of them I've seen triple in other pre-workouts. They don't say take double, but the 1.6 we know is more commonly, beta-alanine is more common at 3.2 grams. The 5 grams of betaine, if you doubled, the 2.5, you doubled to 5. Seen that many times before, seen 10. It's the citrulline as well, pure citrulline, you double that, you get 6. We've seen 9 to 10. Caffeine, double 160 takes you to 320. Theanine, again, double 200 takes you to 400. None of these things we haven't seen before. But again, when you get into these areas where you're like, oh, this could be better, that's not the point of this pre-workout. If we're talking about a $45, $50, $60 price tag, yeah, sure, we can pick it apart. But GNC has premium alternatives. It has the entire Beyond Raw series. This is basically all for the purpose of you, any consumer who may not be committed enough to spend 40, 50, 60 bucks. It's a big ticket right out of the gate if you're just new to the space or you just don't have that in your budget. So a $30 pre-workout is more than makes sense. And we've seen plenty of them, these cost-conscious, value-focused pre-workouts, anywhere from 20, 15, 30, they all fall around that range. The GNC Pro Pre-Workout Pro Performance Pre-Workout is that. Falls in at $29.99. That is before discount. And if you're at all familiar with GNC, you know that I'm just making sure the price is $20. I swear that was what we saw it at. No, it's $24.99. My bad. $24.99, not $29.99. So less than $1 a serving. Or if you want to juice up a day, you could do that. It has the freedom to that. So if you were doing arm day, something lighter, you could do the single, and maybe you wanted to just put extra effort in one day, you could throw down the two. It had a lot more than the single. It have a lot more effect, and does defeat the purpose of a value-focused pre-workout, but that's neither here or there. So yeah, check that out on the site. Available at GNC stores now. It's online store. And that goes for any story we've shared here on Stack. Go to stack3d.com. We hope you go there every single day, twice a day, 3 times a day. That's all I ask for the service that we do. That's how we work. We plan to bring news and developments to everyone everywhere in the world as fast and as efficient and consistent as possible. And I appreciate everyone for listening. Make sure you share this with your mom, your dad, brother, sister, friends, and family. And I look forward to having you back next time.